Millions of Kenyans continue to face severe food crisis thanks to the adverse effects of the devastating drought that has hit the country. The paralytic community are among the hardest hit, with many of them, including animals, struggling to access water and food for survival. According to the United Nations Children's Agency, UNICEF, about 20 million people in several East African nations, including Kenya, need humanitarian support. Let's have more details of that in this report.
The parched earth longs for rain, but there hasn't been any meaningful rainfall here in the last 4 seasons. The impact of what scientists in the Horn of Africa call the worst drought in 40 years can be felt everywhere in Kenya's semi-arid Turkana region. In Todonyang village, lunchtime passes without notice. Lunch is a luxury few here can afford. Nancy Arupe has had to set up shop reselling cooking fuel in order to raise funds to feed her family.
Before the drought started, life was better. Sometimes the government sent us food rations. But now there's this hunger everywhere.
A few kilometers from the village, we find the carcasses of hundreds of domestic animals which succumbed to the ongoing drought. The Arid and Semi-Arid Lands Humanitarian Network estimates that more than 2.4 million livestock, which pastoralist families rely on for nourishment and livelihood, have died in Kenya. The lake nearby offers options mainly for those with boats.
If you don't go looking for firewood to sell or burn charcoal or collect leftover fish at the lake shores, we will go hungry.
And the drought is fueling another threat. Though attacks by cattle rustlers have taken place through the years, locals say the drought is worsening the insecurity in the area.
What fuels this insecurity is the scramble for pasture, for fish in the lake, and for livestock.
UNICEF warns that over 20 million people in Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya and Somalia will need water and food assistance through 2022. Earlier in the year, Kenya's National Drought Management Authority warned that over 3.5 million people in the country were staring at acute food insecurity. Those numbers are likely to rise as more and more households continue to lose their livelihoods in the ongoing drought, and these people are now seeking urgent interventions. In the affected areas, government agencies and aid organizations are swinging into action to mitigate the impact of the dry spell. And the Horn of Africa continues to wait for the rainy day that never quite seems to come.